Yes, guys. I hope you're all good. This video is all about the Chelsea versus Everton game. I hope you all are good. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I think will be helpful in order to this channel to grow. Also, I have 199 followers, subscribers. I mean, so I just want need more in order to get 200 subscribers. But at the same time, I need more than 200. Maybe 2,000 sooner the better. But overall, thank you for your support. Hit the like button as normal. Today I'm with Jersey. Jersey, how are you?
Yeah, good evening, mate. I'm doing great. Just recovered from the weekend's loss. So, yeah, all good. Looking forward to the show as always. Nice. And ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe. Only one more subscription for 200. Let's grow the channel as quickly to 1,000 and then to 5,000, 10,000 because we are on the roll. And Tobeho is doing a great job. It's just starting. And I'm sure you guys will love the show and it depends on Chelsea as well. As much as they improve, of course, we will have a great time together.
Yeah, Jerry, first question I would like to ask this. After some recent performances, also, if you can check the table at the moment, we still 10th, and then it seems like West done what Grandpa have done already. Chelsea, Mauricio Pochettino is worse than that. So overall, I just want to ask you this question: like, uh, is Mauricio Pochettino under pressure at Chelsea at the moment after some recent performances?
Yes, I think if we have to be really honest, Mauricio Pochettino, I think is in tremendous pressure. The way I look at it, because I always look at it analytically, and I try to, of course, fan opinion matters a lot in football, in most businesses, but especially in the Premier League, you know it more, and everyone who is listening knows it. It's so impactful, and right now it didn't cross the line, but and of course, we don't have the exact stat, but looking at the social media, looking at other platforms, we can see that the fan base, we can safely say it's split right now. And many fans are even entertaining the thought of life after Pochettino. There are many discussions in some top channel and content creators who are discussing who should succeed or who should be appointed if Pochettino is sacked. So, although I would say, in my opinion, at this moment, right now, as we speak, he is not in under severe threat, but the foundation is there. If the result goes bad, say against Everton and against Sheffield United, then there is a huge possibility, a real possibility, that he could be sacked. So we cannot take things for granted. S- um 16 games, 6 losses, right? Not good enough, not good enough. And 19 points, it's embarrassing. But again, like we have reviewed, so we don't have to go in depth. Why are there, what is the exact reason for that? The injuries and the new squad, of course, that is true. But at the same time, the squad is, in my opinion, good enough, and we expect better, right? So the pressure is on him, but it's not that he will be sacked even if we lose against Everton. But if we lose against Everton, then I think there could be a discussion in the Chelsea hierarchy and the board. And then I think this month is very important for him. This month is important because on paper we have easier fixtures, with all due respect, and he must win, I think, at least 80% of the games. In this month, and also the game against Newcastle is important, because if we go out of the Carabao Cup, then what do we have, right? FA Cup will start in January, so we are already out of the cup. So yes, he is under pressure. Yes, the situation is very bleaky, and I'm sure that he knows that, and it's interesting times ahead. I think a further loss would really dent his chances to stay at Chelsea.
Another thing, just want to mention this. Do you think Mauricio Pochettino can turn things around?
Yes, I think he can. Again, because we have seen, forget the PSG job for 1.5 years, 7 years he spent in Premier League, Southampton and Tottenham. So he has done well. He started slow in both clubs. So if you, of course, it doesn't guarantee anything, but we can see the trend. He was eighth around Christmas in his first season with Tottenham, and then he turned it around and they start winning games. But again, we have to see that he can turn it around. There is no question in that, as long as we get the players back. See, we are not with 8 to 12 players from August to now. All the time there are at least 8 to 12 players unavailable. With a new squad with 10 players on average not available, I think it's a big deal. We cannot take it as an excuse, but it's a reality. So once, and I don't know when it will be, but I think in Nkunku, Lavia, they all be coming back if Reece James stays fit. So I think he will have his 90% of the squad ready. And probably I think the owners are waiting to see what he can do with Lavia and Kunku, and maybe in January they might go for some other player. He can turn this around, but for him to do so, he need to survive Christmas and New Year. That means he needs to win majority of the games this month for the fans not to turn against him, for the board to keep trusting him. If he can do so, go to the new year in a good shape, then I'm sure he will be given this season, and I'm sure things could start getting better. But now this is the most critical time for him. If things don't work out, if we lose to Everton, Sheffield United, and the other games we have, if we not win, draw or loss or lose most of them, then there is a real chance that he will be sacked before he could turn this around.
Yeah, 100% spot on. My own view, I think injuries and suspensions are crucial in terms of the coach style of play, how I want to implement his system. For example, during preseason, we've been playing so good, but before the season started, we lost some key players due to injuries, and then Mauricio Pochettino had to tweak his formation in order to make it work. Sometimes, yes, the fans doesn't like it, but at the same time, I think we should also think about the coach. Uh, Options, what should he do and stuff. So overall, I know people say I'm making excuses. Let's say for example, I mean Manchester City. If you check their games when they don't have Rodri, they're struggling in the midfield because Rodri is a key player for them, and then without Rodri, they can't do most of the things right. Also, look at the Spurs recent 5 games. They haven't won their last 5 games because after the Chelsea game, they lost their key players due to injuries, also suspension. So yes, might be excuses, but it's part of football. But before you go to the preview, it's for Everton game. Uh, which players so far are disappointing for you, and then which players improved at Chelsea so far this season?
There are a few disappointments for me. Of course, there are a number of players, but the two key players that I'm really disappointed on is Raheem Sterling, because we expect a lot from him. We have seen what he could do in the games against Manchester City, Luton Town, Arsenal, uh, and other games that he played really well. And but most of the occasions, like let's say 30% he's playing really well, 70% he doesn't exist, and it is not helping. As one of the senior players who has done very well at Manchester City, I think it's a disappointment, although he won a couple of man of the match games. He is too inconsistent, and it will not help. Even though if he will have terrific games 3 or 4 out of 10 times, and in the other 6, 7 he's not there. He is awful. Really, his stats are bad in dribbling. In his first touch is horrible. His passing and positioning is bad, so it will not help. So now we have already played what 16, 15, 16 games and a cup games. So it's 70, around 18 to 19 games we have played, and he's still like 1 week he's a different player, and the other 2 weeks he's a different player. So in that context, I think Raheem Sterling has been a a bigger disappointment. And the other disappointment, which I'm recently very active on social media and very vocal about it, is Nicholas Jackson. Oh my God, I don't remember recently that I have seen a striker as bad as Nicholas Jackson in all of the Premier League, in all of the Premier League. Of course, I don't watch games of Luton Town and Burnley, or Sheffield United, so maybe there are one or two players who are doing worse than him. If you take the hat trick away, which was, with all due respect, kind of a gift to Nico, his stats are also horrible. Some people give him the benefit that he tracks back, do all the work with the midfield and defense, link up with the midfield. Who cares? He's a striker, man. So we don't want. I mean, this is like a value added service, right? If you take a membership in the gym and then they give you that you can also do aerobics, you can have this place where you can have free meal. This is great, but when you have the thing that you need the most, which is a gym, uh, which are the equipments and the platform you want to use to build your body or your fitness, then you would like the cafe, then you would like some other things in the gym. So what Nico is giving us is value added services without the goals which he is there for, right? And I mean, we have seen, there was a stat what we missed 30, 32 what chances, big chances this season, and he's involved in what 75% of those chances. Even in the game against Manchester United, there were I would say, two chances that even a 5-year-old kid could have scored. Honestly, I mean, he's missing these chances left, right, and center. I don't want to go too hard on him, but I think his mind is not here. He needs to maybe do something else if he wants, and then come back and play football. So these two players are huge disappointment, and players that improved. Of course, Cucurella improved. I'm just saying improved, but of course, they need to improve further. He improved. Modric has improved, but he's still not there. But the thing is, because he didn't play a lot of games, one, because of Sterling. Second, when he was playing well, like against Arsenal, he got injured. So there was not continuity. Even in Manchester United game, a lot of people are saying he was awful, but he was awful in, you can say, in the final third. But generally, his play, the way he cut and took the ball on a few occasions inside out, he took the players. He took the on two instances when he had the first touch and maneuvered the ball. So these instances does indicate that he's improving. The goals in the final third is lacking, but Modric is generally improving. So I'm satisfied. Cucurella, as I said, Conor Gallagher again. Of course, there is a lot of discussion on Gallagher, but he improved. He has improved. There is no doubt about it. Will he be the player that will the answer to our midfield in the long run? I still don't know, but he has improved. I don't know. Again, in Manchester United game, the whole team was awful. So I don't know if it was because of Gallagher or not. But one thing is for sure, that Enzo and Caicedo. Enzo is of course very slow, but he's a great player. But his speed is not his strength. Caicedo has been awful. So I think Gallagher does cover a lot for them. Cover the ground, cover the tackles, link up play, and the defense. So in that context, he is important, right? I did say and agreed to a couple of people who shared with me some of the skills and the analytics of Gallagher as an elite player, which he is not, and I have always agreed. But why I have always backed him is that because right now with Caicedo and Enzo, he is important with his because he brings something different. People think he's a runner, but it's important. It's meaningful runs where he dribbles, where he take on the uh, where he links up with the final third, and even track backs into with the defense, and make the necessary tackles and the challenges, which Enzo and Caicedo are not doing. Caicedo is supposed to do that, but recently his performances are so bad, and. And of course, our Disasi has improved generally, right? Where he was in the start of the season. Silva is playing well from the start. So all in all, it's a improvement, as I said, in a couple of players, but collectively we don't see that. There are individual brilliances, but collectively, when the team will gel and play collectively and have a better understanding of the positional aspects, then only I think the results will come. It's a good sign still, but again, because we have lost so many games, then that is still concerning. And again, if the players will be injury free and will stay for most of the time, then I think they can improve. So let's see. It's a very important weekend against Everton, and then the following game against the home game against Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's perfect. I really agree with your analysis. Now we need to move to the elephant in the room, which is Everton. Because if you watch their game against Newcastle, they were fantastic. They did their homework, and then Newcastle couldn't breathe because how I mean Sam Allardyce uh, uh, set up his team. So overall, just want to say this in terms of the Everton game. Uh, what can you expect from Everton? Also, what can we do in order to win this game?
It's $1 million question, honestly, because, and as I said in one of our previous shows, that the biggest issue for any analyst, and most of them are getting wrong. So it's not that I have got wrong on a few occasions, because Chelsea don't have any pattern, right? Like with Tottenham, I'm not trying to like praise myself or give any accolades to myself, but when Tottenham were playing Chelsea, I said that they will start losing games because this is a honeymoon period, new manager bounce. I see a lot of issues because they don't have the bench strength, and they've lost 4 out of the last 5 games with one draw. And with Manchester United before the season, I already analyzed that Ten Hag is not good enough and they will struggle. So I'm just saying that because we do Chelsea show, but behind the scenes, of course, I also talk football, but not on the shows because it's all about Chelsea. So what I'm trying to say that most of my predictions about other teams are correct apart from Chelsea, because it's like whenever there is a pattern, when we like played against Arsenal, we were like, wow, this is one of the best performances. Against Man City, wow, like when you can play this good against City, right, you can then expect some consistency. And then with the Newcastle game, Manchester United game, even at the start of the season, Liverpool game, first game we were so good and then we struggled. So there is no pattern. We can all of a sudden play the game of our lives, right? And then we play horrible, and then we play decent, and then we play bad. And when no one is expecting, we play game of our lives. We play so well that we say, wow, Pochettino is amazing. The recruitment is amazing. We are back. So now I don't want to, I think I need to be more patient and observe the team more, right? Because there is no pattern at all where you can identify what will happen. So, look, this game will potentially be very difficult for a number of reasons. Number one is that Everton got 10-point reduction and they have nothing to lose. They are very, very furious, relentless, very hungry, and they want to take it on. Ever since this ban and the 10 points deduction, they have been ruthless. There's no doubt about that. And since I've been following Premier League for years, historically also, this is one of the, not for Chelsea, but most of the teams, this is one of the most generally a very difficult place to go and win. I'm not saying that we cannot win. I'm just trying to discuss on the occasion and the stadium and the ground. So Goodison Park is a difficult place to get and result because it's a very small arena stadium, and the ways people are sitting, it's like they're almost like a floral. It's not higher up. It's close to the players, so the few thousand fans that are there, they're very hostile. The players, the away place can really feel them. So this is of course there, this has been there for last 10-15 years, not from now. So I'm just saying that because Chelsea is struggling, they can always feel the effect of the crowd, the occasion, and Everton is determined. And now, look, I'm not looking too much into the Newcastle game because, look, if we see that game, of course, that is a game that happened just what 2 days ago, right? 2 3 days ago. But I cannot make a sample of it because Everton. No one expected Everton to do this against Newcastle. So we have to see Everton from last season, from start of the season. So collectively, it's a different situation. So although they played very well, they outclassed them. But it doesn't mean, right, that the same thing will happen against Chelsea. So my analysis would be more of what we have in front of us, rather than I will say this is the game that happened. You know how people are doing on social media. Newcastle defeated us 4-1. I'm just saying. Everton defeated Newcastle 3-0, so we will lose 7-0 to Everton. I'm just saying this is the level of journalism and analysis in Chelsea community. This is not as easy as it is. So I will go back to the basics. The challenge is because Newcastle is a very, very physical team, and we have struggled a lot with the physical teams, right? So this is one thing that is a huge question mark. I don't know how we will deal with it. First, let me tell you the issues, and then I might give my opinion how we can deal with it. So the physicality is there. We are not a physical team, right? We lack that. We lack physicality, also the height. So Everton has a significant advantage, and they are good at set pieces, and we struggle on that. Not only that, the one thing that will give them a huge advantage is that they play also from the back, and they play a direct football, right? They pass like they direct football, one touch football, and that could be very, very difficult to cope with, especially if they are on the counter, and we are out of position. Then they are really good with the direct approach. So this really is concerning. Maybe I'm making it like it's a mission impossible. No, we just have to be really careful. I think what how we can negate with that is that, first of all, we a place need to be up for it. The mind should be at the right place. Kind of manager needs to kind of get into the heads and tell them, just forget Manchester United, just forget Newcastle, just think how we played against Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester City before the last international break. You can do that, right? So first of all, they need to have the head in the right direction. And I think we need to be a little bit adventurous. Of course, we need to be more cautious. I think we need to go back with the defensive framework, which I am not like a huge component of. I always like more of a high line, more of a modern football approach, right? But I think because we are leaking so many goals, we are losing. It's okay to win 1-0. What I'm trying to say right now, right? Pochettino usually plays. We have seen like how he plays against Arsenal, Man City. But now with Everton, he needs to be careful. No need to try and go for a 3 or 4-0 win. You see, make sure you don't concede. Make sure you don't concede. Just be good defensively. Don't let them have enough spaces to counter. Don't let them have enough spaces where our defense is out of position. So I think it has to be basic. More than anything, it has to come down to basic, and avoid silly tackles at the position where they can get free kicks, where they can really hurt us if they get it in the right position. So what I'm talking is basic, I know, very basic. And because where we are, we need to correct that, all the aspects that we need to counter and see. It's so important, the positional aspects, the defense, right? So we need to play a more game that we are in more in control of, rather than we are being adventurous or trying to hurt them and score more goals. It's all good. We can do that as long as we are in control, and we start well, and try to dominate. So I think this is how we can take control of the game. And yeah, I think this is a great game which will challenge the mindset, and uh, uh, the uh, the mindset, and where the Chelsea players are right now, if they are capable to make a comeback, and you know how they cope up with this pressure, and how much are they fighting for Mauricio Pochettino. This is something that will tell me. They know he's under pressure. How much will they fight for him? So I think it's a game. I still think, of course, because I always see it holistically, I think Chelsea is a better team. We have better players. If we play to our potential, we can beat them. So yeah, this is my analysis, that we need to keep it to the basics. We need to be really good defensively. So Tobeho, what do you think? So we can wrap this up. What do you think? Do you agree with my analysis on the Everton game? And what would you like to add?
Yes, I agree with your analysis. I think uh, I guess Everton, Mauricio Pochettino need to motivate these players in terms of we can replicate what we have done against Arsenal, even though we didn't win that game. What we tried to do against Manchester City, even though we didn't win that game. Also against Spurs, the performance was fantastic. So overall, I think our players need a little extra motivation from our gaffer in order to win against Everton. Also, in terms of set piece, I think we need to do more because this is Everton's strength. Set pieces. Also, they like to do long balls to the penalty area. So I think we need to be careful in terms of what we are playing against on Sunday. So overall, man, it's gonna be a tough game. This game won't be easy. I'm telling you. After the Manchester United performance, the players, our coaching staff are under pressure. So we need results in order to stay up on the table because we can't keep on losing games. So overall, I think we need to do better as a team. Sometimes you need individual performances. Hopefully, this time we can get those individual performance from, like, say, for example, maybe Sterling can have a show tomorrow, or maybe Palmer. Will never know. So overall, I think we need to do better as a team, not to try to do silly mistakes that we did against Manchester United. Because let's have it right, the performance was awful. We need to do better. But I just want to get your starting 11 before I get your prediction.
Yeah, so it's a tough one again, like because there's no consistency even with the starting lineup. There's too much experimentation. So anyhow, my started lineup would, of course, I would love to give Petrovic a chance. Honestly, right? I would love to give Petrovic a chance, but probably he will play Sanchez again. I would love to see Petrovic, and and again, yeah, 4-2-3-1. He's sticking with that, and I think he should stick with that because if Nkunku is coming back, that is the best formation. So we need to see how Nkunku would fit in with the 4-2-3-1. So f- uh, Reece James, I don't know, like he was not fully fit, and he's like question mark to play 90 minutes because we need to be more good defensively because we need to start well, not concede the goal. Of course, Reece James is one of my favorite players, right? On any given day, I would have started him. I know this is a big call. Just because he's still not fully fit in the last game, he came up in the second half. I think I will start Gusto. Maybe this is a big call, and Reece James would come as a sub. But of course, in the following games, when he's fully fit, I will always start Reece James. So Malak Gusto, and I don't know. This is a big call which I'm taking. I would like to play Disasi and Badiashile now as our central defensive players. Because I think we need to see them. They have played together with Monaco, and Thiago Silva already he has played well generally. But I think we need to try and see both of these players to play together and give Thiago Silva a much needed rest. And I believe Badishali is really great. He has a great potential. This RC has improved. So let's give these guys a chance. And again, it's a tough one because they play long ball. We need to counter that as well. Koval has been a little bit embarrassing in the last game. So in that aspect, will give Cucurella a chance as left back. So yeah, Gusto, Disasi, Badishele, Cucurella, and Enzo Fernandez. Although I'm a little bit skeptical on Caicedo, but I'll play him because it's a game we need. If he is at his potential, his focus is there. We need him to defend properly and be pivotal in the midfield. So Caicedo, Enzo, and Conor Gallagher, of course. Gallagher will be back, so he will play probably as a 10. And And Kunku, if he will play, I think will come off the bench. So again, I see Palmer with Gallagher. I mean Palmer on the right. He'll go back there, and probably Sterling will start again. As much as I would love Modric to start, but I think Sterling would start in this game. And one change, of course, Gallagher will be back, and I have already made the change of playing Badishile and Silva. Sorry, Badishile and Disasi instead of Silva. But one major change that I'm looking at is to play Broya now instead of Nicholas Jackson. We need to see that, of course, because Everton are physical. He's great. He's a proper box to box striker, proper number nine. He's physical as well, and he can really hold up the ball. So we need to see more of Broya because we have checked Nico a lot. So yeah, this is my starting 11. How much do you agree, and what changes would you make in the starting 11?
I think the changes that I will make is Malo Gusto for his gym because I don't think Malo Gusto is fully fit. So overall, I will start Sanchez, Rhys James, and I agree with you. We need to pay Bisasi and Bernard Barishila because at the same time, I think we need to be careful in terms of using Thiago Silva. So he need to rest also for this game and then play Marco Corella. I know we need height, but it's time to play Marco Corella players at the best positions. Even though I know uh, Levi Corella can play as a left back, but we need someone that who is comfortable in that position. And then in terms of the midfielder, I wouldn't mind playing Moses Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Conor Gallagher as a number 10 because we don't have someone there at the moment. Lavia is not fit. Is not fit. I mean, Leslie is not fit. Kani is not fit. So we don't have any choice. We have to play those three midfielders, and also which annoys me because they don't have pressure from other players. They don't have competition at the moment. They can give us bad performance today. They're still playing the next game. So overall, man, we need luck on the side in terms of injuries in order to have everyone fully fit so we can have healthy competition in the squad. And then in terms in our attack, I agree with you. Sterling will start because he's more experienced. Then Palmer is one of our most effective player. Will start also. And then I will start Braga also because I'm so tired of Nicholas Jackson. I know he's a Chelsea player. I rate him, but overall, I think his time is up for him to start games. He needs to sit on the bench and then feel what he can do in terms of affecting the play when he comes in the second half because it's not good at the moment. I'm so sorry, it's not good. We've been missing chance after chance. Every game, we've been crying about him, and then this is one of the most criticism I have for Mauricio Pochettino because he doesn't want to put him on the bench, on the bench, and then start Brock. I don't know why, but overall, I respect him as a coach. Hopefully, he can do that tomorrow. What is your final say?
Yeah, I agree with that. So it's interesting. So let's see what happens. I think we have analyzed very deeply, and now it's up to the players, of course, to perform and follow the instruction. I'm sure Pochettino will definitely work on that. What we have talked about, and he also have direct access to every stuff, and the players, he is watching them in training, which we don't. So of course, I'm sure he's been like talking to them, as we can see with Reece James. They are hugging and talking a lot. So I hope that can transform on the pitch, right? It's good to see the chemistry and the bonding, but the players need to realize that if they really love Pochettino, if they want him to be the coach instead of an XYZ person coming from another country, and maybe the players won't be happy with that manager. So they need to perform and start winning, because one thing is apparent at the moment that most, I cannot say all of them, it's never like this, but most of the players, they love Pochettino. and that is a very very important thing in football. If the players are on the same line, we can see the chemistry. Modric, Gallagher, Reece James, and Pochettino now, like they have developed close bonding. I hope this translates in the pitch. It's a very important game. Even if we draw, the fans will not be happy because we have dropped so many points. Top four is still in the still there is a hope for top four. I'm still optimistic as always, but if we keep losing games another one or two, then it will be like 16 points, 15, 16 points from the top four, and it will be near impossible. So it's a very important game, and everyone please like and subscribe. One more subscription from 200, and please share with your friends on your social media. Help Tobago get to 500 and 1000 as quick as possible. Enjoy the weekend. I think Crystal Palace Liverpool is about to start in 15 minutes. Hope Bournemouth defeat Manchester United so we can feel a little bit better. So Tobago, thank you so much. Which game you're looking forward apart from our game this weekend? I think Aston Villa Arsenal is very interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm interested to watch Aston Villa and Arsenal's game. I think it's to the right. So overall, please guys, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, uh, comment on the comment section. What is your thoughts about our today's stream? And then yeah, man, up the channels and hopefully we win so that we can have a good weekend, and then everyone can be happy without stressful and negative things around the club, which we don't want, because last season we had so many negative things. So we need to be positive this time.
Thank you so much, Tobago. Take care, everyone.